Welcome to Own Your Impact, the This Is On Me podcast. Most people want impact in business, in relationships, in leadership, in life. We all want our existence to matter. So we build skills, careers, identities. And sometimes the results look successful, but eventually something begins to surface, a disconnect, because many people are producing results in tasks but not in themselves. That is the purpose of this podcast. It is not motivational content, it is diagnostic. Own Your Impact examines the internal structure that produces external results, because results are not random. Patterns reveal structure, pressure reveals structure, relationships reveal structure. And what repeatedly happens in your life is trying to tell you something. Most people blame the environment. They blame other people, their past, their circumstances. But recurring outcomes usually point somewhere deeper, to the architecture of self, your assumptions, your reactions, your patterns, your discipline. This podcast is about ownership, not guilt, ownership, because ownership creates the possibility of change. Impact is not intention. Impact is results, and results are traceable. This is Own Your Impact. Let's begin. Welcome to Own Your Impact, Episode 9, Learn to Love What You Do. Today I want to challenge an idea that most of us have believed for years about work. Find something that you love to do. It sounds right, but I think it's incomplete. Because if you don't first learn how to love what you do, you'll spend your life changing jobs, projects, and circumstances, hoping the next one finally satisfies you. Eventually, you discover something unsettling. You took yourself with you. Most people ask, what job will fulfill me? I think there's a better question. The question, what is this work trying to produce in me? Those are two very different questions. One is a question of the needy, the other is a question of the producer. One looks outward, the other looks inward. There's always work beneath the work. Every profession has visible work, but every profession also has invisible work. The visible work earns a paycheck. To some it is boring, some torture, some necessary, some vital, some temporary, some transitional. But the invisible work shapes the person doing it. Patience, humility, discipline, craftsmanship, integrity, responsibility, consistency. Those questions are the real curriculum, and most people never notice them. This has been my observation over the years. As a pharmacist, I filled thousands upon thousands of prescriptions. Some days were rewarding, some days were exhausting. The medication wasn't the only thing being prepared. So was I. Every contact, every difficult customer, every mistake avoided, every problem solved, every interruption. They were all asking the same question. What kind of man are you becoming? That question mattered far more than whether I enjoyed the particular day. But it took years to matter because I did not see the underlying structure. The underlying structure needed to be renovated from I want to find something I love to do to I want to learn how to love what I do. And that doesn't mean that you will never change a job or a profession. Again, it is simply the examination and learning process of life. I'd like you to consider a shift. When you begin looking at work this way, something changes. The work is no longer simply something you do. It becomes something that is doing something to you. And that is where the rubber meets the road. Now every task has a meaning, every challenge has a value, every disappointment becomes information. Your work becomes a mirror before it becomes a platform. And all this is not necessarily conscious current. What I mean by that is you're not thinking about it at the moment it's happening. It becomes visible when you take an inventory of the day, the week, the month, the year. Different events will pop up into your mind and they will all add to the inventory. As a medical professional, my mind is directed toward diagnosis. So consider this. If you dislike your work, ask yourself why. Is it truly the work? Or is the work exposing something inside, your core, something you may not want to see? Impatience, pride, fear, lack of discipline. If this list is accurate, then the work may not be your problem, but it can be your teacher. I believe in reckoning. Reckoning is the collision of what is reality and what is illusion. I believe reckoning is healthy. So I encourage you to stop asking only, how can I impact others, and start asking, what is impacting me? Because whatever is shaping you today will eventually shape your impact on everyone around you. If it is anger or frustration or the like, that alone may be the diagnosis that the condition is present. Others can see it. Only you can alter it. Learn to love what you do is not primarily about finding the perfect job. It is about recognizing the perfect opportunity to grow. When the inner person changes, the outer work changes. Impact always begins inside. Own your growth, own your structure, own your impact. This is John Diomede. Results are always speaking. The question is whether you are listening. Most people spend their lives explaining outcomes instead of examining them. Explaining frustration, explaining conflict, explaining inconsistency. But patterns do not lie. What repeats is revealing structure. The way you think, the way you react, the way you interpret pressure, people, and responsibility. Change does not begin with effort, it begins with recognition. Recognition of what is actually producing your results. Because ownership is not punishment, it is access. Access to correction, access to growth, access to stability. The environment will not complete you. Titles will not complete you. Achievement alone will not complete you. Internal structure matters, and structural solutions without internal change produce temporary results. Examine the pattern, govern yourself, own the outcome. This is Own Your Impact. If you'd like more information, visit our website, ownyourimpacthq.com. If you'd like to contact me, use the email on the website. I'm available for seminars, speaking engagements, trainings, and more.